Hidden Rhythms in Prophecy is a journey through the patterns and precision of how God has confirmed his work with the Jewish people throughout history, evidence of the past, present, and possible future. The modern Jewish calendar system can be historically documented to only the early centuries AD. What was the previous system is a matter of scholarly debate, but modern scholarship uses the present method for dates very much more ancient, even though they cannot possibly be confirmed as historically accurate. A volume written circa 1000 AD contains descriptions of how calendar systems of various Middle Eastern cultures functioned. This was translated in the late 19th century and remains obscure and out of print. It contains technical information about the Jewish system before the modern revision came into use. This information can be accurately modeled. When combined with the unique physiology of winter barley grown in Israel, the ancient calendar system can be recreated. The research of Anderson and Hayner regarding the 70 weeks described in Daniel lists several ancient anchor point dates. Even though modern scholarship has accepted these, the rediscovered ancient calendar system does not verify these as accurate. Further, a detailed examination of the original text in Hebrew and Aramaic shows that an entirely different interpretation is needed. In fact, the passage should be understood as three entirely separate time periods describing three entirely different individuals. Two gaps of unspecified weeks of years exist between the three specified weeks of years. The first 7 weeks began when God prophesied that people would again return to Jerusalem and rebuild it. It ended when Cyrus gave the decree and permission for this to happen. The second period, of 62 weeks, started when Nehemiah began to rebuild Jerusalem, 4 years after he received this permission from Artaxerxes. It ended with the first coming of the Messiah in 6 BC. The final week is yet to take place, and we are currently in the second unspecified gap. The recent blood moon craze caused much ridiculous conjecture and has led to much ridicule of unmet expectations. This is due to the fact that the phenomenon has not been correctly understood. Eclipse tetrads occurring on Jewish feast days mean absolutely nothing. Instead, God uses only the first year of the group of eclipses which match the feast days. Only this first year corresponds to some significant event in the history of the Jewish people. However, not every matching eclipse group is significant. It cannot be used to predict the future. And, very significantly, only the newly rediscovered ancient calendar method can be used to determine these eclipse feast day matches. There are more significant matches during the 20th century than has been recognized thus far. In addition, these matches have occurred during the time of the Babylonian exile and restoration. Matches also exist for the years of the birth and crucifixion of Jesus Christ, finally giving strong evidence for these events in history. However, these do not correspond with dates based on the modern Jewish calendar, and this now requires a re-examination of church tradition. Since God set up these eclipse cycles and the way in which they match the ancient Jewish calendar from the start of creation, these eclipse event signs could have been seen at any time in history. However, only in our modern age have they been discovered. If these cycles were exactly accurate through all of history, then these same cycles are predictable and future patterns can be seen from the present. It must be strongly stated that this is not date setting. Significant future patterns exist which seem to tie together the final 70th week, the 430 days of Ezekiel, the other significant numbers in Daniel, fulfillment of the Jewish autumn feasts, and the unique order of days in the calendar. The expected coincidences are truly astronomical and mind-blowing. The statements in this summary sound absolutely preposterous, and the first inclination is to dismiss this all outright. The book gives documentary evidence for every assertion. The technical calendar reconstruction is described in depth. The invitation exists to verify everything.